Take you a quick drink. Hey, thanks for all the questions, comments, and everybody watching and sharing the videos. Had somebody from the Philippines. Watching Chords and Coffee. How cool is that? It was 10 o'clock there, so thank you for staying up late and drinking coffee with us, or whatever it is you are enjoying over there in the Philippines. We appreciate you being a part of this community. And thank you guys, for all the questions and comments. And Eric and Ernie, last time, I had briefly touched on this two-note jump blues kind of thing. So we're going to talk about that. Plus a couple other chord progressions that are derived from that. So 1, 2, 3, here we go. Blues in A. That's where we're going to be. And David Rutherford also asked about some pedals and like what I'm using. And I want to get to that, but we'll do that at the end of this. So first things first, here we come. So we're doing a tritone thing. That's the flat 7 and the major 3rd. Once upon a time, that was very frowned upon, but now we do it all the time, and it sounds great. And so what you got, and what's really cool about this, especially how it lays out on a guitar, is your index finger is going to be on the 5th fret of the D. Your ring finger is going to be on the G string of the 6th fret. And the reason we do that is that this little two-note thing is actually kind of part of this greater thing here, or how do you want to do it? But most people, that little working man's blues kind of thing, it's really part of this chord right here, which you can almost think of that as a D chord shape that starts on the D string 5th fret, ring finger of 6th fret of the G, and then B string is held down by the middle finger on the 5th fret. But we're just doing 2 notes, okay? But I just wanted to show you that's why these fingers, I think, are important to do it this way, okay? So you've got your flat 7 and your major 3rd on this A, and then when you slide down a half step, now your index finger is on the 4th fret of the D, ring finger's on the 5th fret of the G, and then now this is the 3rd, and this is the flat 7. This was the flat 7 3rd. So isn't that cool? You see what I'm saying? How it kind of shifts around? But wait, there's more. When you slide it up to here, now you're on the E, and this is on the 6th fret of the D, still index finger, still ring finger on the G, on the 7th fret this time. So major 3rd, flat 7, and then back to the A. So one more time. This is your A shape on the 5th fret and the 6th fret. This is your D shape on the 4th and 5th. And then this is your, if I can do it, this is your E shape on the 6th and 7th, right? So, and you can choose any blues form. And when I say form, I mean any chord structure for the blues that you want to. I'm just choosing this one here just because I think it sounds good with this particular thing. So, and then back to A. So that was A, and then D, and then A. Here comes D. Back to A. Up to E. Down to D. A. And then my right hand, I'm thinking of a shuffle, so I'm thinking. But instead of picking that, and here it is up to speed. And by the way, if that is difficult, I would suggest just get a metronome. I have one on my phone. Otherwise, I'd do it here with you, but I'm using my phone to record this, so here we are. But and instead of doing that with my pick, which you can totally do that, and actually, that's a pretty good right hand and left hand muting exercise to be able to just mute everything except for these 2 notes. Easier said than done, right? But I like to just kind of pluck it, right? But you do what you want to do, okay? This is your barbecue. So I'm just plucking it, right? So that's chord progression number 1. Now, next level. we're going to do here, think of this. This is an A6. You can think of this a few different ways. You can think of this as like an F sharp minor chord, right, where I've got my ring finger on the 7th fret of the D, middle finger is on the 6th fret of the G, and then pinky is on the 7th fret of the B, right? Or you can think of it as a D major 7, right? But I'm just playing an A in the bass. That's why I'm starting with my ring, because I want my index finger to be free to play this A. Now the second chord, so this is A6, and then it goes to A9. It's a ninth because it has a flat 7, and it has a second, in this case, octave above the root note, so it's a 9, right? Comment below if you want me to unpack why these chords are called what they're called. Happy to do it. But the problem with doing it in this same grip, if I slide this down, is I would have my index finger scrunched up, something fierce, and I don't want to do that. I want to be a little more comfortable in that. So you want to actually switch these two, okay? So what's happening is, there's your first chord, and then when I slide this down, my middle finger is going to come down to the low E and play that A note on the 5th fret, while the index finger comes up here where the middle finger was, on the 4th fret of the G. So the whole thing right here is middle finger on the low E, 5th fret, not playing anything on the A string, ring finger on the D string, 5th fret, index finger on the 4th fret of the G, and then pinky on the 5th fret of the B. And then, and this one's awesome, because you're going to take your index finger, lay it straight across that 5th fret, and I'm not playing the D string. I'm just playing the A, and then the top 3, the G, the B, and the E. And so I'm making a bar on the 7th fret with my pinky, going from the G, the B, and the high E, and then just taking that bar off. You see that? Pretty cool. So, quick recap. Now to the D. Now to the E. It's the same thing as we did on the D. So index finger straight across the 7th fret, not playing the D, just playing the A in the top 3, and then little tiny bar using the pinky on the 9th fret, then take it off to the 7th fret. So what is that? So this is a cool chord. This is an A13. You may have played it like that, or kind of what we just did too with that A6, right? But what's cool about this variation of this A13 is that the root note is on the top. It's not on the bottom. Okay, on the bottom you have the flat 7. And in fact, if you like, just to kind of wrap your mind around this a little bit, you can think of it as an F sharp minor. Just good old F sharp minor, like an A minor style shape, slid all the way up here to the where your ring finger is on the 11th fret of the D, pinky is on the 11th fret of the G, middle finger is on the 10th fret of the B, and instead of laying this index finger on the 9th fret to make an F sharp, you're actually going to put it up here on the 10th fret of this G natural. That's a cool chord, right? And then from here, so, and you might be saying right now, Nate, I love you, but I do not hear that. Well, do you hear it now when you put that A in the bass? You can also, if you want, just tune your low E down to A until you hear it right, or get you a buddy to sit there and play. Just play an A5, little one finger A, until this starts to sound right. Half of the battle on a lot of these harmonically rich chords is learning to accept this new sound that has tension woven into it, and accept it the same way you would accept a chord that has a lot more release to it. Life lesson! Anyway, but there it is, right? Now the next chord is a D9, and again, the root is not on the bottom, okay? Really what's happening is, you remember these good old minor 7 flat 5 chords? Well, this is an F sharp minor 7 flat 5. Please don't lose me or leave me here. Stay with me. All right, F sharp minor 7 flat 5. Index finger on the 9th fret of the A. Ring finger on the 10th fret of the D. Middle finger on the 9th fret of the G. And then your pinky's on the B string on the 10th fret. And this, if I play that D, you can hear that, right? That's a cool chord because you got the major third on the bottom. You've got the flat 7, tritone. Been talking about it, right? Right? And then you got your 9th, which is the E, and then you got your 5, which is the A right there. So sounds really jazzy. Now, when you go to the turnaround, and again, I'm screwing the form, like the chord progression up a little bit, but you hear these chords and where they should go, right? Okay. So, and then when you go up to the E, you're playing a G sharp minor 7 flat 5. It's a mouthful, but it's the same easy chord that you just did, right? And this time you actually can put that E in the bass. Doesn't that sound great? Right? Index finger, 11th fret of the A string. Ring finger on the 12th fret of the D. Middle finger on the 11th fret of the G. And then pinky on the 12th fret of the B. So, have you ever wondered, why is it when I go, like, especially somebody like Robin Ford, like when you go see Robin Ford, or you watch Robin Ford on a YouTube, or, you know, Chris Kane, or, gosh, this is where I'm going to fall short of naming all the great bluesy, jazzy kind of players. It's a bunch of them out there. And also a lot of country players do this too, and great rock players too. But how are they able to stretch these 3-chord simple chord progressions out for so long and have it continue to be interesting and like sort of have drama that unfolds and develops? Well, they got a lot of different chord grips in their hand a lot of times, and if they don't have it, somebody in their band does. I can promise you that, right? Might be the keyboard player or whatever, but it's floating around there on the stage somewhere, okay? And so these chord grips, even if you're like, hey, Nate, you're losing me on the jazzy stuff, I'm a rocker, right? Well, even in that situation, there's some really cool flavors that are in there that even if you only break out that spice every so often, it's worth having in the cupboard. I can promise you that. So I hope that helps you. I hope you got a lot from this. As far as the pedal board stuff goes, I want to talk about my pedals, but I got to figure out a way to do that with the camera, because every time I've been practicing with my phone, it's always upside down. So if you know how to do that, comment below, and I'd be happy to take your advice on that. But as far as the pedals, here's my question for you. What do you have, Nate? And we want to see what that is. Or is it more, how do you use it? Or is it both? Or is it just, you know, what are your questions specifically regarding pedals? I would love to know that. And also I got to figure out how to do, I think I got to do a 2-camera thing on this to really make this work. But anyway, that'd be a great Chords and Coffee number 36. If you would agree, comment below pedals for number 36. If you got something better, I'm all ears. I appreciate y'all so much. There's not a better way to spend a Saturday morning. Thank you for sharing a cup of coffee with us, and we will see you next time.